for you, so eyes and ears need to be up front. You gotta make sure you're paying attention to Miss Pascal, okay?
All right, so what we're gonna do today, we're not gonna split up like we usually do, but we're gonna do an activity in here where you guys are measuring things, okay? And I know in science class and stuff, you guys have used like rulers and yardsticks and meter sticks, but today you guys are going to be using these measuring tapes, okay? Yeah, some of you have used them before, some of you haven't, okay? So the first thing that we need to go over is what you're not going to do with these, okay? Because I know you guys get a little bit of freedom and you go a little crazy, okay? So you're not gonna go just sit there and do that a bunch of times, okay? You're not gonna go around and have it out like this and start hitting people, right? As much as you might wanna hit Josiah, you're not gonna do it, all right? You're just gonna use it as a tool. It's a tool, not a toy. Got it? Okay. Now, the next thing, we're gonna be doing two things of measuring. The first one, we are going to be measuring to 1/4 of an inch. So for those of you that have never used one of these before, I have a picture of it up here. These big numbers represent an inch, okay? And then they have the little dashes in between that tell us, you know, 1/2 an inch, 1/4 of an inch, and things like that. So if this is 1 inch, okay, what would this be right here?
1/2 inch.
A 1/2 inch, okay? If this is a 1/2 inch, what would this be right here? 1/4 of an inch. Oh, fans and boards off.
Oh, I know.
Goodness. Okay, well, you guys, right there, that's your 1/4 of an inch. You guys know where it's at, okay? So we have 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/2. What would this be?
1 3/4.
1 3/4. Good. And then that would be 2. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. So use that information when we are measuring. So like I said, the first thing we're going to measure to 1/4 of an inch. Okay? Then the second thing we're going to measure to 1/2 of an inch. Okay? Any questions? Okay. I need you to get out your journals and turn to page 105.
205.
205.
205 in your math journal, please.
It should look like this. Okay? What we are going to be measuring first is your pencils. Okay? And this right here is called a line plot. Okay? So the first thing we need to do with our line plot is we need to name it. We need to tell the people that are reading this line plot what they're reading. So if we're measuring our pencils, what could a good name for our line plot be, Iris? Okay, pencil. What about our pencil though? We have to be specific. So when they're looking at it, they know they're reading something about pencils, but what about pencils, Harley? So we're gonna name this pencil length. So everyone do that right now. And then you have a second blank line right here, right? Now we need to tell our readers what we are measuring in. So what did I say that we are going to measure to when we are measuring our pencil length? Judah, do you remember? Okay, specifically to what inch though? What part of an inch? Yeah, very good. I saw you thinking about it. So we are going to say measured to 1/2. Oh, sorry, 1/4. 1/4 inch. So everyone got that?
Got it.
All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to put you into groups, okay? In your groups, you are going to measure your pencil length, okay, to 1/4 of an inch. Say I measure my pencil, and my pencil is 3 3/4 of an inch, okay? On your paper, you have room down, you have a bunch of questions down here, right? And then you have a bunch of room, right? Down there where there's a bunch of room, once you have your pencil length, I just want you to write down what your pencil length is. If I said mine is 3 3/4 of an inch, I'm just gonna jot it down. I'm taking a note for myself, okay? Does that make sense? And then after everyone is done measuring their pencils in their groups, help each other. Don't let one person do all the measuring. Don't be, measuring tape hogs, okay? Once you're all done measuring, go back to your seat, and then we are going to analyze all this data and see how long everyone's pencils are, okay? Yeah, we're gonna see who's the longest, we're gonna see who's the shortest. Yep, what's up, Sophie?
So are we learning how to do stuff on a plot line or learning how to measure?
Both. You can learn multiple things, can't you? I think you can.
Okay, so,
Jaden.
people who have stuff at lab stations, groups are gonna go there.
Yeah.
So you know. So your stuff might need to get pushed towards the back of the lab station, because when people are up in the front, or you can put it back in your seat, it's probably a better decision. But no people are gonna be at your lab station, and you're gonna be moving spots. So just
Right.
because you're there, doesn't mean you're staying there.
Right. Jaden, what's your question, dear? No, I have you set up in groups right now. So as soon as I call your name, get with your group and go to a lab station. There is one group that's not going to have a lab station, but you're going to work up here at this front table. Does that make sense? And as soon as you're done measuring, you're going back to your seat so we can analyze the data. Capiche? All right, good. All right, Sarah, Landon, and Adeline. Take your books and your pencils, lab station. McLean, Evan, and Logan. Logan Dowd. Logan Williams, Addie Miller, and Mariah. Josiah, Iris, and Harley. Haley, Judah, and Sophia. Mark, Aislinn, Brianna. Adriana, Jaden, and Maddie. Mark, go where she is. So again, one group is not going to have a lab station. You're going to have to work up there. So this shouldn't take too long. You're just measuring your pencils real quick. Do you need a tape measure? There you go. Does everyone have tape measures?
No, we don't.
Who doesn't? There you go. All right, come on, start measuring. What's up? Yep, this side that I showed you.
Just take a walk and then come back. Take a walk down the hall and then come back. You guys got a measuring tape over there? Click the lights on, Mark.
Yep.
You guys got a measuring tape? You got one? Is there any groups who do not have a measuring tape?
No, don't answer the questions yet, guys. Just take down your measurements and then have a seat. Okay?
You're not measuring over there. You're just measuring tape. They're looking for a walk.
Good, we got one group done. We're done. All right, have a seat.
Good, so put 6 inches down here. Right here is the pencil.
All right, groups are getting done. That's good. Aizen, can you help Mark real quick measure his pencil? Mark, do not yell at her. She's going to help you. All right, back group. Are you guys done?
Once you get your pencils ready, back to sheet.
All right, go back to your seat.
When you do it, I try to help.
Okay, now this is very important. You have to make sure you are paying attention. You have to make sure you are up to speed. You should still have your mouth full. Page 205. We are going to put everybody's marking down up there. So you have to make sure you are listening. You have to make sure you are putting that X down, all right?
All right, so the first thing that we need to do, okay, if we just start putting a bunch of X's down to represent all of your pencils, it means nothing, okay? What do we need to have down here to let us know what all of those X's mean? Does anybody have an idea? Landon?
Like the length?
The lengths, okay? Good. So we need some numbers down here. We need to know what we're looking at, okay? And we said that we are measuring into what part of an inch? Maddie? 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so on your first tick mark right here, I'm going to start at 3 inches, okay? You can just put a 3, okay? And since we are measuring in 1/4 of an inch, I need to count 4 over. So this is 3, 3 1/4, 3 2/4, also known as 3 1/2, 3 3/4. So this would be 4, right? So you have your 3, and then every 4th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.
Why are we doing every 4th one? Somebody tell me, why are we doing every 4th one? Go ahead, Sophia.
Yes.
4 fourths.
Because there's
4
4
fourths in a
give you
hole. Good.
Right?
So again, so we have starting over at 4 inches, 1, 2, 3, 4 fourths is also 5 inches.
So you're counting every 4 tick marks and you're putting a hole.
1, 2, 3, 4 fourths
You start at 3 and then you're
is 6 inches.
Right? Every 4 tick marks you get a hole.
1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4 fourths, 7 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4 fourths is 8 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4 fourths is 9 inches. Here's where it gets tricky. 1, 2, 3 fourths. You have to add a 4th for here for 10 inches, okay? Because if you do it correctly, you're going to run out of tick marks. Did everyone have to add a tick mark for the 10th one?
Yes.
Okay, that means you did it correctly.
Is it okay if we wait on these?
In 4/7 inch, yeah, if you want to. All right, so now this is what we're gonna do. Now, we're gonna take the data that you guys just collected, and we're gonna put it into this graph so we can analyze it, okay? You guys are gonna be like scientists for a second.
Anybody need help with the graph before we move on?
What, Aislinn?
Are we gonna put down everyone's?
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna start around the room. Now this is where you guys might get lost, so you really have to pay attention, okay? All right, so Addie, how long was your pencil? Okay, so she was 6 3/4 inches. So I'm gonna start at 6, and then 3/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Put an X right above 6 3/4. Everyone got that? All right. Sophie, how long was your pencil?
6 inches.
6 inches even? All right. X right above 6. Aislinn, 7 inches even?
Yes.
All right. Mark,
Pretty sure mine was over 6 inches.
6 inches? So have 2 for 6 inches. So we're just gonna stack our X's right on top of each other, so when we're reading this, it's super easy to read. Everyone got that?
So everybody should have how many X's right now?
4. 2 at 6, 1 at 6 3/4, and 1 at 7. Make sure you have that. All right, Adriana, how long is yours?
6.
6 inches? Wow, a lot of 6 inches.
Yeah, 3 6.
So we're just stacking right on top. Judah.
6.
Oh, goodness.
4 6s.
Mariah.
6
6
and 3/4.
3/4. Okay, so we're stacking again on top of 6 3/4. Iris.
6.
6 inches. You guys got all mechanical pencils?
A lot of them do.
Yeah. Sarah.
6.
6. Logan.
5 and 3/4.
5 3/4. So we're gonna go to 5. Count 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. All right, Maddie.
7 and 2/4.
7 2/4, also known as
A half.
7 1/2. So 7 1/4, 2/4.
Keep it up.
Logan, or not Logan.
And you want to move over
Sorry,
so you can see.
Jaden.
5 and 6.
6 inches.
A lot of 6s, right, Miss Pascal?
Mm-hmm. All right, Logan, down. Go ahead.
5 and 3/4.
5 3/4. 5, 1, 2, 3. Lightning. 7 3/4. 7, 1, 2, 3. Harley.
6 inches.
Brianna.
7 and 1/4.
7 1/4. Evan.
Call it 8 and 1/4.
Did you get Jade?
Yeah. 8 1/4. Addie.
5 and 3/4.
5 3/4. Little.
6.
Landon.
6.
And Josiah.
7 and
7 1/4, he says. All right, so using this, you should have 3 at 5 3/4. So make sure. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You should have 10 at 6 inches. You should have 2 at 6 3/4. 1 at 7. 2 at 7 1/4. 1 at 7 1/2. 1 at 7 3/4, and 1 at 7 1/4, or 8 1/4. Sorry. Okay. So now let's go down to the questions at the bottom. The first question says, what is the largest value in our data set? So look at our sets of data, either on your paper or on the board. What is the largest value in there? Landon?
6.
So 6 has the most sets, right? 6 has the most votes. But is 6 our largest pencil?
Oh.
Okay. What is our largest pencil? Jaden? 8 and 8 1/4, right? So our largest data set, which is also asking what is our largest pencil, you need to put 8 1/4. So the next question is just asking you the opposite. What's our smallest data set? Okay, Judah? 5 3/4. Good. All right, so before we took any of this data, we started our line plot with what? 3, okay? We ended it with 10. Now that we've taken all this information, what could we have started this line with? Now that we know where we started and where we ended with our largest data set and our smallest data set, really, what could we have began with, Adriana? Instead of starting with 3, what number could we have started lining our plot with? What's our smallest data set? 5 3/4. So do we need any of this before this? So what could we have started this with? Okay, so our first one was 5 3/4. So give yourself a little bit of room. We could have started this with 5 inches, right? So that's for number 3. We could have began this line plot with 5 inches. Okay, now looking what our largest data set was, what could have been a good number to end our line plot with, Harley? 9. Yeah, we really didn't need this extra inch, did we? We didn't really use it. Okay? All right, now this one should be easy. We measured our pencils to the nearest what of an inch, Logan Dowd? 1/4 of an inch. So we should label the number line with 1/4 inches. So in both of those blank lines for number 5, you should have 1/4 of an inch. All right, turn the page. And you have another line plot. You want to do this one in feet again? Feet again? It was fine with the other day. Okay. All right, now this time you're working in your same groups, but you get to measure each other and how high you are, how tall you are.
You want to have
Okay?
label this first?
Yeah. So, what can we name this line plot? What could we name this, Mark?
I was gonna name it Pizza Brothers.
No, that's not even funny. Iris, what can we name this? Okay, I like the last part. Instead of person, let's be more specific. Who are we measuring? Little? Student height, I love it.
It's like every person in the home is gonna measure their pencil.
And then, instead of measuring to 1/4 of an inch, because that can get really, really tricky, does anybody remember what I said we are going to be measuring in now? Do you remember, Addie? Aislinn? Yeah, 1/2 inch. So measured in 1/2 inches. All right. Little, come here. I'm going to show you guys how we're going to do this. All right. You're going to work with your groups, okay? Go ahead and stand right here, okay? Stand up. You're going to stand up as tall as you can, okay? You're not on your tippy toes. You're just straight. You're looking forward, okay? You're not going to have this starting at her knees, right? That doesn't tell you how tall she is. You have to have it on the ground. Now, good thing you have 3 people in your group, right? Because look, Mr. Avanzo is going to go hold it on the floor for us. So make sure it stays there. Then you're just going to take it to the top of her head. You're not going to lean it like this because that's not going to be accurate. You're just going to go to the top of her head and you're just gonna go to about the 1/2 inch mark, okay? And you'll see on these, go ahead. I'm gonna say she's about here. And you're gonna see on your tape measure that there's little sections like this, it tells you the feet, okay? Tells you how many feet she is. So you could write that down. It says she's 4 feet, and then just count how many inches after that. So start at the feet and then just go 1, 2, 3, 4, however many and a half, okay? Does that make sense?
Sandy, stand up real quick. Also, instead of measuring on the side, you could also do it where she's standing like this, and you can go from the back. So then you kind of see more accurate.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier.
Makes it a little easier if you're struggling from the side, okay?
Is there any questions on that? What? Oh, okay, same thing as before, same groups as before. As soon as you are done measuring, you're sitting down.
What group needs to take measure?